hoping this is coming up because it's saying it's going to post to an event and to my page, which is something new for me. I set up an event and Facebook is doing weird things. Facebook must have done an update today because I did a live video in my private team page and it was going live on my personal story. So I think Facebook has done a update with Facebook Live and it's confusing me. Hi Sonia, how are you? So I thought I would, hello Heather, I thought I would actually get on and let you guys know that I was going live, which was a goal of mine to actually be a bit more prepared, although I plan on doing this a bit more regularly and letting you guys know of a day that I'm gonna consistently go live. But I thought, hey, it's a good start. So I have been playing around with some stuff on my desk and some of it is sitting way over here. Oh, hi Karen, how are you? I can see, oh yeah, I can see your comment on 2 devices, so I'm looking at both. So I have been playing with some stuff. Oh, hi Glenda. I have been playing with some Sale-a-Bration products and I thought I had a goal. Hi Rachel. I had a goal to get using my products before the end of Sale-a-Bration. So for those that are new or haven't heard of it, Sale-a-Bration is an amazing sale with Stampin' Up that was going or is still going in August and September, where every $90 that you spend you get a free product. Hi Jessica, hi Sue. So there's an amazing lot of products to choose from. Hi Liz. And I had a heap of them here. Well, I do have a heap of them here that I haven't yet played with. And I thought, no, I need to get going with them and using these products. So I actually sat here today and used products that I didn't think I would actually use. And it's designer series paper. This Saturday's class will be on the same set for us. Which set are you using, Karen? The Sale-a-Bration set? Hi Wendy. So I sat here and tried, my mission was to use up paper. So this is a bit of a way of using up some designer series paper, and this gorgeous paper you can get free with a $90 order until September the 30th. So I wanted to showcase it, and I was planning on going live during the day, but it just didn't happen. It was one of those days. So I thought, no, I can go live tonight and show you what I've been creating, because I created, I was going to say 3 projects, but no, it's 2, but there's a bundle of stuff in the second project. So I created a card which I cased from the catalogue, but made it a little bit different. And this actually uses the Peaceful Prints Designer Series paper. Underneath that bauble, you can see the paper here. Hi Donna. So I cased a card from the catalogue because it actually uses the Bright Baubles bundle. So it's cased from this card here that I saw in the catalogue. And then I thought, you know what? I want to use the paper. So I'm going to create this card live with you. But then I thought I want to use up the paper. So I made one of our little paper pumpkin boxes and covered it. I'm going to show you how to cover these little boxes with paper and use the bauble tag, but then wanted to create something in them. So I've made a whole bunch of little mini note cards using the paper as well. And I'm going to show you how to also make your envelopes pretty with the paper as well. So I thought, you know, I'm going to love it, chop it and use some paper. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around so you can see my desk is a bit cluttered because I have got all these products out to show you, but I'll flip the camera around so you can see what I'm doing and see where I'm at. It's actually, I know that I complain of the rain and the cold weather a lot in my videos, but guess what? We had sunshine and warmer weather today, so that was so nice. I hope my Australian friends, wherever you are, I know we had an earthquake in some of the eastern states today, so I hope that you're all safe and well, because I know we had some I think it was a 6 magnitude earthquake today, which was a bit, it's not too common here in Australia to have events like that, so that was a bit scary. You're stuck on the couch watching. Well, that's not too bad, Karen. Okay, so you can see my desk, all good. So this is the product that I'm going to use. This is the Peaceful Prints Designer Series paper, which is this set of paper here. And it is a 12 by 12 pack. So you get 12 sheets, 2 of each, 6 double-sided designs. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Emma. So this is our Sale-a-Bration catalogue. If you haven't seen it yet, there's still, all of these products are still available, and there's actually 3. There's a 6 by 6 specialty paper, but this is a 12 by 12 pack that you can choose for free. There's another 12 by 12 pack free and this pack free. So yeah, really cool papers. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're okay, Karen. It sounded a bit scary. Stace. It sounds like there's lots of couch surfing going on. And then I'm going to combine it with this beautiful bundle from the mini catalogue, which is the Bright Baubles bundle. And I hadn't yet played with this bundle, so I had it and I wanted to grab it out to play with. So this one is in the catalogue, and this bundle is one of the ones that just grabbed me. It's not part of a suite, it's just a bundle. But I've got it here. This one comes with a stamp set, so it's got 2 really big baubles and some beautiful sentiments, and it's a cling mount set. I've got some of the sentiments out. Hi, Sue. And it has a beautiful set of dies. Funny story, well, not funny, but I lost one of these little dies this morning, and I was searching everywhere, and I found it on the bottom of my sock in the corner of my craft room, so that wasn't fun. But this comes with 9 dies, and these are gorgeous. So I will show you using those today as well. So, and I've got a couple other sets, but I'll show you as I use them. So let's get started. Put my catalogues to the side. This is the gorgeous paper, and I don't have a full pack anymore, and I'm proud of it because I get to the end of a catalogue and have way too much paper. Oh, sorry, Sharon, you may want the stamp set after. Hello, Ms. Worry. Yes, so this is the gorgeous patterns that come with it, and I still have heaps left to chop. So I've got to get chopping, but these are the beautiful designs. I think you can probably see most of the backs from flipping it over, but this also coordinates with the Peaceful Deer bundle. So this one fits with the deer punch, I think. So if you have that, it coordinates. So this one is free. You can't buy it. You can earn it free with a $90 order. So I'll pop that to the side. I don't want it too far away. Let's grab my coffee. I almost knocked that over. That could have been scary. So I'm going to bring in, this could be a longer video because I'm creating loads of stuff today. So I'm going to make this fun card with you. So this one was Kate from the catalogue, and I changed it up a little bit, but I have pre-cut. I wasn't very organised because we had to take my son to jiu-jitsu this afternoon, so I came back and rushed and cut out a couple of bits and pieces, but I've got some supplies pre-cut. So to create this, I'm just going to use a Real Red standard size card base, and this is top folding, and then I've got a larger piece of Real Red and piece of basic white. So in metric measurements, this is just cut to 14.3. This is 14.3 by 9.9, and this one is 14.1 by 9.7 for my inside, which I'll do a bit later. And then this piece is the same, so 14.3 by 9.9 and 14.1 by 9.7. So we are going to use a couple strips, but I'll come to those in a moment. Now I'm going to start with this smaller piece of Real Red because we're going to actually do some blending. Now I'm going to bring in, I do have a non-Stampin' Up product, but I'm just going to do it for some ink blending here. It's a silicone matte, and I find it really good for blending, so I'm just going to, it saves me getting messy on my craft desk. You love the video on ideas of the note cards. I love the note cards. So if yeah, I'm showing these, I'm going to put in the box. These are using our Whisper White note cards and envelopes. These are so much fun and great for projects like this. So to make this dark and distressed, I have just grabbed my Real Red cardstock, and I'm going to grab some Cherry Cobbler ink. And I'm wondering if I can do, no, I don't want that. I did this the other day and managed to slightly brighten up my my video a little bit. Let me know if that's too bright. I think it might be too bright because it's nighttime, so I don't know. It tends to get a little bit, it's hard to film a video at nighttime. I've got my LED light in the video. It's ideal for my Santa's Cave items. Oh, that sounds fun. So I've got cherry cobbler ink. Now this is not a Stampin' Up! Blending brush. I'm waiting for more of them to arrive. Goodness me, my flash is on. That's why that looked funny. So this is not a Stampin' Up! Blending brush because I'm waiting for more to arrive and I don't have a red one. So I would use a Stampin' Up! One because they are really good quality. And I have got non-Stampin' Up! Ones obviously, and I love the Stampin' Up! Ones. So I'm just loading my brush with some cherry cobbler ink. So I'm using cherry cobbler on real red. So I'm not using real red on real red. I'm going with a different colour to darken the edges of my cardstock. So I'm just going off and I'm going to bring in the edges. So I'm making a nice dark edging to my cardstock. It's actually fun to get started on the Christmas crafting because I haven't done too much. I've started but not too much, and I thought, okay, it's time to get crafting with the Christmas products. I'm really inspired now to get going with my Christmas crafting. So I'm just continuing to load up the brush and going back and adding some darker ink. With this technique, you just keep adding. So you go back and add more ink and just keep on going back and adding. It's just about building the colour. I found with these non-Stampin' Up! Brushes, I have to be a little bit heavier with them as opposed to the Stampin' Up! Ones. They tend to need a softer touch, whereas these ones are a little bit different. I definitely prefer the Stampin' Up! Ones. And the Stampin' Up! Ones were out of stock and now they're back in stock. So the Stampin' Up! Blending brushes were so popular that they were back ordered for quite a while and now they're back in stock. So if you like these blending brushes and want some really good quality ones, our Stampin' Up! Brushes are $21 for a set of 3 and they are in stock at the moment. And hey, if you want the paper free, you could get, what's that, 3 sets of, no, that's not 3 sets. Four or 5 sets of them, and you could get the paper free that I'm showing in today's video. So you ordered some yesterday, Glenda. They are amazing. I love the Stampin' Up! Ones. So I don't have one in front of me, otherwise I'd grab it. But the Stampin' Up! Ones have a grey handle and they're amazing. So I'm just going and adding the ink. I'm probably, when I did these videos, I had, when I did the cards, I had red fingers. And when you do play with a lot of red, it looks like you've cut yourself or something. It looks like blood. So I'm just going and adding all that dark and focusing on the corners. Like that. Where's my Shelley? Yes, they're back in stock, Karen. I went and I've been stalking the inventory report. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. And I think that'll do it. So I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to, my cherry cobbler. Hello, Myrtle. How are you? Where are you from? I should say, where are you from? Where in the world are you? Right, so this silicone mat just wipes down with a baby wipe, but I'm not going to bore you with doing that right now. Halloween ready from a Christmas card. Halloween ready from a Christmas card. You mean you're ready to make Christmas cards, or you're wanting to make Halloween cards? So with this, I'm now going to do something a little bit fun. So I'm going to get a block. And I've been a bit addicted to this technique, but I'm going to get some Whisper White ink refill. So this is just the refill we use for our Whisper White ink pad. And I'm just going to squirt some on a block. And then I have an old aqua painter. We don't sell these anymore. We have cooler ones like this, but I've just got to get some water. I'm just going to drop a little drop of water in there to ink that down, to water that down, and just make it a little runnier. And then I'm actually going to splatter the white over my background. And this is why I want to do this step first, because this will need to dry. And because the white ink is pigment, so it will take a little bit long. Oh, yes, sorry. Halloween ready, definitely. My son keeps asking if we can do Halloween. And I'm like, oh, now I'm making them white. I'm going to be, look, I've got white and red. And actually, before I put the aqua painter away, I'm actually going to do a little bit of water splattering as well. And what that's going to do, I just need to squeeze a little bit more water onto my brush. Where's that? And do some ink, some water splatter. Oh, not like that. Some water splatters as well. And what that will do is draw up the ink that we've blended onto that. And it will make it look, I don't know if you'll be able to see on the video, it makes it look a little bit like a water splatter. So that's a little bit of a fun technique that you can do as well. So now I'm just going to set this one aside to dry, because it will take a moment while we get our other pieces done. So what we can do now while that dries is work on our baubles. So we're going to pull out the fun dies. So these are the delicate baubles. And I'm going to pull out this fun one here. So we're going to cut a few of these. So I love how this layers together. And so I'm going to cut it a few times. What we need is a piece of the basic white cardstock. And I'm going to cut both the dies together so they can layer together. So I'm just going to trim a piece big enough to layer them together. And what I'm going to do to help hold these together, and I've got my mini cutter, my mini Stampin' Emboss machine, so mine's called Jude, and I love Jude. I actually probably have been using him more than Gerard, my big machine. So we have die cut machines in two sizes. We've got a big and a mini, and the mini is great for when I do videos or when I just need a quick job done. I love not having to pull out my big machine onto my desk when I do videos. So I'm just using a little bit of washi to hold those together because I'm layering two dies. And then I'm going to place that in my mini. I probably need new plates in my mini. They're getting a little bit bowed. Now I'm just going to run that through. Now this is quite a detailed die, so I'd recommend running this one backwards and forwards a couple of times. Then we can pop, we won't need the detailed one anymore, but we will need this one. So then you're going to get a little frame piece, so we'll want that. And then we're going to want this one with all of the detail. How cute is that? So then the easiest thing I find when you've got all these little pieces on your plate is just to pick up your plate and use your die to scrape it in the bin. Can you give me the measurements for the one card, please? The one card, as in the, which one's the one card? The one I'm making now, or one I've shown previously? Okay, so now I'm going to also cut just the plain, just this outline piece in a little bit of vellum. So I had a piece cut out, size ready. So I just got a piece in vellum. And then we're going to pull in the beautiful peaceful prints, the one I'm showing now. So the layers are, it's just a standard size card base. Where are you based, Christine? Are you in, do you use metric or imperial measurements? So I'm going to use this print from the Peaceful Prints. I wonder if that'll fit without me trimming it because I'm being lazy. I'm going to cut a bauble out of this. Oops. I think that's all the die cutting that we're going to need doing. So I've got a cute little patterned bauble. How cute is that? So I'll pop my machine out of the way. And then we can start assembling our little, actually that is not all the die cutting. I missed one little section. This die cut, oh, you use both. So the card base is just a standard size card base, and the large matting layer is 14.3 by 9.9, and the smaller layer is 14.1 by 9.7, and then the inside the same sizes. So I always pretty much use the same sizes, to be honest, for my layers. So the large piece is 14.3 by 9.9, and the small layer is 14.1 by 9.7. And then I've just got a standard half a sheet of A4 cut at 10.5 and scored in half. So I've got the red velvet paper. So this red velvet paper is in the mini catalogue, and it's so cute. And I'm just cutting this die that comes from the Delicate Baubles, and has this really cute bow. This is why I need new plates. So adorable, it's a little bow. I love it, it's so cute. See, that's a little gorgeous little bow. So now Jude can go away. Okay, so then I've got my piece here, and I'm going to start sticking this all together. So what I'm going to do is layer my vellum is going to go over the top of my designer series paper. Now I found if I applied a little bit of glue to the edges, it didn't matter, because I'm going to adhere pieces over that, so you're actually not going to see this adhesive. So I'm going to stick my vellum bauble straight over the top, and then I'm going to apply some adhesive to this framed layer. And then I'm just going to line that up with the edges. And then lastly, I'm going to stick this last little piece in. I love this set, it's so cute. I'm just going to apply a little bit of adhesive there. And this one will just sit perfectly in place. Applied a little bit too much glue there. Whoops. That's okay, my bow's going over the top. Okay. Well, I've got sticky fingers. I know, I wish we... Hello from Germany. Hi, Kathy. I know, I wish we did have a vellum adhesive. It'd be so much easier. So my bow is actually going to sit over the top there anyway, so that's okay. Now, while I'm waiting, because I want to give that a few extra minutes, so if you are just joining, we made a piece with some pigment ink, so that's just drying. I'm actually going to take the sentiments from the Bright Baubles set, and I've got quite a few sentiments I'm going to use, because I'm putting Wishing You a Merry and Bright Christmas, and they come in 3 different pieces. So I've actually popped them all into the same block, and I'm going to stamp them all together. I found it easier. Oh, that's a good idea, Kathy. I've got some hand sanitizer. I actually have heaps of hand sanitizer. Yes, Karen, vellum. I've got that many adhesive sheets. It's not funny. And I've been using them a lot for that rubbing alcohol technique with the Stampin blends. So I do have a lot of them. Okay, so then I'm going to put some white embossing powder. I'm doing the old trusty white on black. But it's okay, because the next little quick card I'm going to show you, I used garden green for a sentiment. Can I tell you something? My son, in a video the other day, on a team meeting, I asked him what his favourite Stampin' Up! Colour was, and he said garden green. It's actually one of my least favourites, and today when I was making a card, I'm just heating up my heat tool. Today when I was making a card, I sat there and I thought, what colour am I going to use to stamp this sentiment? And that came into my head. I was like, Elijah likes this colour. And I thought, you know what? Just for my son, I will stamp the sentiment in garden green. So I did. And it was also partly inspired by the fact that there's garden green in the Peaceful Prints pattern paper, but funnily enough, my garden green ink pad looked almost brand new, and I've had it for quite some time. But we all have that colour that we struggle to use. I don't know about everyone else, but garden green is just not one of my favourites. And I'm a green girl. I love my green, but garden green, no. So I'm just going to trim out my sentiment ready for this to go on my card, because I'm getting a few steps ahead ready for my background. I may actually heat set my background, because when I made the original card I had time to let that dry, so now I don't want to make you guys wait forever, so I may try and heat set it for the sake of video. Okay, so I've just trimmed that out ready for my card. To give it, did I chop? Oh no, I didn't. Okay, I'm making myself go mad. Okay, I may quickly do for the card insert. I think I have a piece at the side. There we go. You hate garden green too. I tend to use garden green only at Christmas time. Me too, obviously. Hi, Shelley. Yes, okay, so I'm not the only one with the garden green then. So I'm going to apply a little strip of this Peaceful Prints paper down the bottom of my card insert, because I'm a bit of a decorator when it comes to my card inserts. I love decorating my card inserts. I can't actually leave a naked card. And the next little project I'm going to show you, apparently I also didn't want to have a naked envelope. So I'm just going to trim that off so that sits nicely there. And then I've got a small strip of gold foil, which I just wanted to add a touch of gold in. So I'm just going to add a little tiny strip of glue. And I've just cut this to probably, oh goodness, it's less than 1/4 of an inch. It's probably, yeah, it'd probably be about 1/4 of an inch, which what's that in centimetres? This is probably 1/2 centimetre maybe, I don't know. I can probably, you know, use the grid paper I've got here and tell you. Yeah, it's 1/2 centimetre. Okay, so I've got that there, and then I've got these two gorgeous little sentiments from the Bright Baubles stamp set, which if you're joining, we're using this one here. So this is the Bright Baubles. I love the sentiments. I love the font. It's like a typewriter type font. So I'm actually gonna stamp Joy first. I'm gonna stamp that in some real red. And I'm terrible with lining up cling stamps. I should use the Stamparatus or something for this. But I'm just going to wing it and stamp Joy. And then I've got the other bit, which is Sending. So I'm doing it in multiple colours. Otherwise I would have popped them on the same block and had them lined up on the block. But this is where you've got to kind of wing it. Sending Joy. Oh, look, that's actually really straight. I did it straighter on video than I did on my actual card. Then, oh, that ink pen didn't want to stay. Then I'm just going to mount this one to some real red. Do you know, I must confess. So I said I don't really like garden green. Real red is another colour that I don't really use. And I don't use it until Christmas time comes around. Because I'm not sure why. I've got nothing against it. But I'm not actually really a red person. Which is kind of funny because I haven't had my hair dyed in a while. But I actually usually have red hair. And my hair's been really bright red. Last year I looked like Ariel off The Little Mermaid. But yeah, it's I'm just not a red person. So there's the inside of the card. And now let's have a look at our background. How are we going? It's still quite wet. So I think I haven't dried the pigment ink. I'm testing the waters here with my extension on my heat gun, but I'm going to give it a bit of a heat with the heat tool. Just to see if I can speed up that drying process a little bit, which I think will work because it looks like that's drying it. It actually makes it bubble a little bit. It's quite cool actually. I've seen this this Whisper White craft refill used a lot. It looks great on darker coloured cardstocks because it really pops out, especially like Night of Navy, Evening Evergreen. The darker colours, this looks really beautiful on, even Misty Moonlight. Blackberry Bliss, it would look beautiful on as well. I think I should challenge myself to do another non-traditional coloured Christmas card. What do you think? What's a bundle out of the mini catalogue that you want to see me use? Hopefully I have it. Challenge me, guys. I'm up for a challenge. Sorry if this is an awkward angle. I'm just trying to get those dry. Sort of bubbling, which is it's a different formula of ink to our normal craft ink. I'm trying not to have it smoking and catch fire on a live video. That would be I think that'd go viral, wouldn't it? If Kayla's crafting video just caught fire in the craft room, that would just be hilarious, not? I think I'd cry. Okay, I think I'm going to just be careful with it. Squirrels! Oh, that's one I don't have, Karen. I've seen so many things done with it though. I don't have the squirrels. Is there another one? Okay. So now I've got that done. I did have a bone folder out. Where did I put it? Oh, I actually put it away. So with this, I'm actually going to take the top corner and I've just been obsessed with distressing everything. So I'm just going to take my bone folder. I did this with the sheep. So if you saw my sheep card, you would have seen me do this, but I actually wet that one. And so you can see that the white wasn't quite dry there. And I'm just going to fold that down. And now with this, I can then adhere it to my Real Red layer. And we're not going to stick, I must remember, do not stick this to the card base, Kayla, because I've got another cool thing to show you. And I'm trying not to touch the white bits because they're probably still a touch wet. Okay. Hopefully that's stuck down enough. Now this top corner here, I'm actually just going to grab my stapler and add a couple of staples just for fun. Now I'm going to take this really cool gold ribbon, and this is the gold shimmer ribbon. This is from the Blackberry Beauty Suite, but you can use the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon as well. That will also work because that frays. Now I never know exactly which end to do this from, so I try it from both and then hope I've got the right end. But the easiest way to do it is just I use it against my finger gently and then slightly pull at it, and you'll know once you get that. And if you pull at it and it's not coming away easily, you switch ends. I don't know if there's actually a way of doing it so that you know which end to start from. It's probably something really obvious and Kayla just hasn't quite worked it out yet. I think it's this end. It looks to be. Yeah, so once you get it, what you'll do is you'll start pulling it and then it'll do this. you get this cool thread. And you just hold it onto the ribbon with your thumb. And with your other hand, just keep pulling that thread. And then all of this is rubbish. So I'll pop that in the bin. And then you're left with all of this really cool gold thread. Look at that. Isn't it cool? And then what I'm going to do with that, and hopefully I cut a piece long enough, is I'm actually going to stick it on my card. Now the reason I didn't want to adhere this to my card base is I found that this step was easiest to bring my stapler in and add a couple of staples to help stick that down. Or you could use tear and tape and stick it on top of a strip of tear and tape or Stampin' Seal. I'm just gonna, staples are so easy. I love staples. Stampin' Up used to have a stapler. In fact, I think I owned one at one point. So that's our thread. And then now we can adhere that down to our card. So I need to start a new sheet of dimensionals. So I'm going to add some dimensionals. And doing my usual of not talking when I take dimensional backings off, because it requires so much concentration. Dimensional backings in the bin. And then I'm going to stick this to my card base, like so. And then we're ready for our bauble to go on. So probably should have actually stuck the bauble before I stuck that, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to stick the bauble to my card with some Stampin' Dimensionals as well. I do need to stick my bow. Might just stick that with a tiny bit of glue and stick that to the top of my bauble. Tacky for a second. I'd hate to think about how many dimensionals I've been through recently. I've been making cards like crazy. I've been bulk doing cards though, so not cards that you've been missing out on because I haven't been Facebook Living. I've just been I've been mass producing cards. So I'm going to stick that to my background. I'm just going to give a couple of these a trim. I'm covered in gold spangly bits. Now I'm just going to flip this over. So I'd recommend doing this bit before you actually adhere this down. It's probably a little bit easier. I just forgot. So I'm just going to let that stick. You can never use too many dimensionals. I agree, Karen. So I'm just going to chop the top of that. Oops, that popped up. So I'll hold that down for a second. And then we have our sentiment. So I'm just going to trim that down a little bit. So I've got wishing you a merry and bright Christmas. And then I've got two of those just stuck with glue. So I'm going to pop 2 of those down with just some glue, and this one here, the Merry and Bright, I'm going to pop up with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to use the side of my dimensionals so I can get a thin strip, and I'm going to pop my Merry and Bright up on some dimensionals. So I've got dimensionals, dimensionals, and dimensionals, so that's like a triple height. And then I'm going to stick my Christmas down like that. And then I'm going to bring in this embellishment, which is really cool. These are the Cute Stars Adhesive Back Sequins. These are from the Halloween suite in catalogue, but I love sequins. And these have got the cute black stars. So I thought these were super cute, and I thought I'd adhere some onto this beautiful card. So I'm going to stick a couple onto the card, and I'm going to go, I always do things in odd numbers, so I'm going to do 5. Apparently I like the black ones because the black ones are quickly disappearing off this sheet. And then I'm going to do some Winker Stella, so just going to add some spritzes of Winker Stella across my card. And then if you could see me right now, I've got dimensional backings all over me. So that there is how you make that fun card. So that's the one with the bauble, with the fun inside. And that's using some of that Peaceful Prints paper. So that's on the back of the bauble there, and also a strip of it on the inside. Sorry about the terrible lighting. This is what happens when you film at night time. So that's that fun one. And I thought that was super cool and uses a few different techniques. I must not sit that in my white. So let's do the next one, which uses a ton of the paper. So this one's using the note cards and envelopes. So I've pre-done a few so you can see them made up, and then I thought I'd do one with you. I know I always use my Winker Stella, Angela. I don't think I know a card that hasn't gone on. Thanks, guys. So this one uses the note cards and envelopes and this really features the designer series paper. So I really wanted to love it, chop it, and really show off that paper because I was trying to not let it go to waste. And I decorated the envelopes because when you buy the Whisper White note cards and envelopes, you get a packet of, I think it's 20, I believe. Yes, 20. So they come with a pre-scored card. So this is pre-scored, and you get an envelope with it. So these are 3.5 by 5 inch. So the little envelopes I actually stamped as well and added some designer series paper to the back to decorate those. So that's another fun way of using your papers to decorate. So the cards, you can pop in a matching envelope. So that's another fun way of using the paper. But I've got some sitting here to show you how to do it. But before I do the card, I'm going to show you how to make the fun paper pumpkin box. So this one here actually comes, first I'll show you how this one will just slide off, so they don't have to untie the bow. But these paper pumpkin boxes they don't come covered, they come white. So you can fit in here, these little cards will fit inside so that you can gift them to someone. How cool is that? So then when we do that up, did I leave the card out? No, I maybe didn't. But then that will go back on top. So I'll get one of them out to show you. Any of the things I would have done that ahead of time. Luckily everything is generally at arm's reach in my craft room. So these are the mini paper pumpkin boxes. They come, we do have to fold them. So, but they're super easy to fold. So I'm going to decorate one. I don't know if I still have a full sheet. Yeah, no, I do. This is a paper that I used. I think I used this side, but I think I might use the deers this time. So I'm going to it uses almost a whole sheet. You can see this is where I did that box. It uses almost a full sheet of 12 by 12. So I used some Tombow mono adhesive, so the liquid glue, to do mine. Or you could use some tear and tape or some Stampin' Seal. It's completely up to you. I just use liquid adhesive for everything pretty much. You just need to make sure you let it dry. So you want to add some adhesive to pretty much the entire thing. So make sure you get all of the flaps particularly the edges. It will ooze out a little bit, so as long as you are pretty generous with how much you put on there. So you just want to cover that all up. Now, I was actually looking because I know that I own a scalpel. This would be easiest with if you had a scalpel just for one section of this, cutting out this box, but I don't know where I've put my scalpel. But it's fine to do it without it, so good thing I have a million bottles of this stuff. Okay, so then all you need to do is plonk that down. It's actually easiest if you line up so you can avoid cutting a couple sides there. Line up those two edges on the edges of your paper. That way you don't have to cut out this edge and this edge because they're lined up already. So they're all good to go. So, did I do that? That'll be that way. I actually probably did that, just ignore me. I just realised when I fold my box, the D's will be upside down, I think. Now they won't. Now I'm really going to have sticky fingers. Yes, that's right now. Okay, so give that a good press down. And then all you want to do is take your snips and cut around, working into the edges, and then snip it off. This is such a fun way to use designer series paper. I thought I'm a real bad paper hoarder, so I buy designer series paper and then get to the end of a catalogue and have heaps of it left. So I was on a mission this morning when I saw this paper sitting there and realised that I had not even used it, that I was going to create something today, and I thought, hey, I'll come on live and share with you all what I have made. And I loved the bright Baubles set, so I thought I'll share it all with you. I can see myself making tons with that bright Baubles bundle. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this is beautiful paper as well. It's very traditional. I love this. I think this is Sahara sand, I'm pretty sure, this pattern here. So there's a couple bits where you've got to go into the nooks and crannies, but then there's some really simple lines to cut around on this box as well, so it's not too bad at all. There's one tip I have for you at the end for a nice finish, which I'll show you in just a moment. You could do this with a craft knife. It might be easier with a craft knife if you've got one. My days of X-Acto knives and scrapbooking feel like a distant memory. I feel like this is something that would benefit from a hyperlapse video where I'm doing it on speed, so that you're not seeing me cut around every corner. Okay. So almost finished. These paper pumpkin boxes are quite cheap as well, and I think they come in a packet of 10. So you could get a packet of these and make up lots of little gift boxes of note cards and envelopes to gift. And people, once they've gifted the cards that you give to them, they can use the little box as a gift box to give to somebody. It's really cute. So what you're left over with there is some sharp edges, but I'll show you in just a moment. You've got to get into these little slits. So all I did was got this. This is where you would benefit from a craft knife. You just need a little bit to, I found it easier if I came in from the bottom, actually, and just chop that. This will get covered up because the little pieces from the here will slot in there. So you just cut and then come in from the bottom. Has anyone else covered any of our boxes? We have some other really cute gift packaging. I just got the really cute jam jars. We have some adorable jam jars that are part of the You're So Peachy suite, and they're really cute as well. And I held off getting them for a while, but I just got some in the mail. I'm thinking about making some Christmassy themed ones with those. It'd be cute for Halloween too if you celebrate Halloween. Okay, so what I did was I have a sorry Angela, I have a little sanding block, and I find that good for these types of things. If you want to just give your edges a little bit of a sand, if you've got some little pieces that look a bit sharp that you want to just give a little bit of a sand to make it look a bit more finished. And if you want to get into pieces, just fold them back and get in there and sand. I think I would really like to try this with a craft knife. It would make it a lot easier, I think. I've done things like this before with a craft knife and it's a lot quicker. I searched my craft room just before I came live. I thought, where did I put that craft knife? I wonder if Stampin' Up have ever sold a craft knife. I know they've had a lot of tools in the past, but I'm not sure if they've ever had a craft knife. Okay, that'll do for now. So all you do is fold your box in on the folds. So fold this one in like so, and then fold that one in, because you want these two flaps here to be up and in, so you can fold this side flap in, because that's the one that goes into those two little divots that we cut out. So you want those two pieces to be in and those little bits to be in that little divot there. So we'll fold them in and then pop this one up and over and into those little divots there, like so. So you could go back, and if you're not quite, if there's still some pieces there that you want to fix up, you can go in with the scissors or the sanding block and looking good. Okay, so then you just fold that all together. The deer are actually really cute. I like the deer. Now I'm going to have to make more note cards because I don't have enough note cards to fill 2 boxes. So it looks like I'm doing more Love It, Chop It. Okay. So you just got to give the folds a little bit of a crease and they'll work. Okay, so that's our box done, and then all I'm going to do is bring in this real red stitched edge ribbon and actually not tie a bow just yet. My coffee has been sitting here for 40 minutes. Who's taking bets on whether it's cold? Okay, I'm going to take a bauble. I'm going to take the one that says Joy, so I'm using a different one this time. And I will need one of these tiny little minuscule dies that I lost this morning and found again. And then I'm going to take my red, I've got a scrap of red here, because I need some red to cut out our big bauble. And these little tiny dies, what you use them for is to pop in here when making gift tags, because you need something for the ribbon to go through. So I'm just going to get that up into my bauble. Once it's sitting in the right spot, I'm going to use my washi tape to hold it there. And I'm going to bring Jude back in. That coffee actually wasn't entirely cold. I was surprised. I was waiting for it to be absolutely freezing cold. It's not too bad here though tonight. It's not as cold as it has been, so I don't have the heater on, which is nice. Okay, so this is how I lost my die this morning. I pulled this out, I think, and the die went scattering across the floor. Okay, so that tiny die cuts out the little hole just there. Isn't that cute? And you'll see in a minute. Now, I'm going to put that die back on the magnet sheet, because we're not going to need that die again. We're going to need the detailed die, however, which I popped here. And we're going to need some gold foil. So I've just got a scrap of gold foil. And I'm going to pop this one through the die cut machine. And because this is a detailed one, I'm just going to run this backwards and forwards a couple of times to get that detail. And then I'm just going to peel that, and all of the pieces are coming out very nicely. So they've all come out. So I've got all my scrap on here. And as I said, when you get this, I just use the die to scrape that into the bin. So I find it easiest. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our little tag there. So I'm going to pull in my ribbon. I'm just going to tie my bow. So I'm going to thread that through both of the little baubles there. And then I will be able to tie a cute bow. Now I'm not going to be I tied a pretty big bow on the last box. Let's see. There we go. Now we can move that across if we want. So there is a cute bow for our box, which you can move the bow around a little bit if you want. And then to decorate a little bit further, I pulled in some embellishments. So I pulled in the gold holly leaves. These are from the Painted Christmas Suite, but I thought they looked perfect on this little box. So I'm going to pull out 2 of those and some of the glue dots, because these are a fabric texture. So So I found these easiest to adhere with some glue dots. So I'm just going to stick those down. I'm just adhering to. And do you know what was funny? This morning I was actually doing this before my son went to school. And he came in and I was trying to stick green rhinestones as my berries. And he's like, Mum, they're berries, they're red. It was really funny. I was like, what would I do without you, Elijah? So these are the holiday rhinestones. These are from the annual catalogue, and I've got quite a few open packets here, so I'm using a multiple mixture here. I'm just going to use the Take Your Pick tool, this handy dandy tool. I've got one stuck to the backing sheet. I'm going to use it. So I'm going to add 3 of these because they're red berries. They're not green berries. They're actually red. I'm like, no, I confused myself because I used the gold leaves. I'm like, oh, the berries must be red. I mean green. Okay, so there we go. And then I tied an extra little bit of linen thread. And I've tied this just around my bow. Just for something a bit extra. So I'll tie a cute little bow. And flag the ends. And then, you know what, just for you, Angela, I've spritzed the box. So that's the gift box that the cards go in, and it was actually quite simple. You could make a whole heap of these and all the different papers to use up that paper. It's a lot of fun, and using the ribbon and those gorgeous baubles, so you don't have to use them on cards. You can make gift tags, you can make whatever you like. So I'm just going to take out, because I think I actually packaged up the card I need, which was smart. I'll unpackage the card that I need. I popped it in this box, and then you can just slip, you don't have to retie the bow, you can just slip the bow back on like I've done with that box there, so you don't have to retie it every single time. So that's what they look like with the two different boxes. So right, let's have a quick look. These are simple. So I have done the 4 different ones already. My desk is like a tornado. And then we've got our 4 envelopes that I've done. So I'm doing 5 in total. So I have put one of the designer series papers already on this card. So I've cut it, these cards are 3.5 by 5 inches. So I've cut it to 1/8 of an inch smaller in height and width to frame onto this card. And then I'm going to use a label. And this is cut from the seasonal labels dies. So these are from the Painted Christmas Suite. And they have some beautiful dies with a mixture of labels and images that cut out some of the foliage from this set. So this actually matches with the Christmas season stamp set, and it has some really beautiful foliage images on it, which is what I've used on these cards here. And the sentiment I'm going to use, which is the Merry Christmas to You, is actually from this set, which is a set that doesn't come as part of a bundle, it's all on its own, but it's really cute, and it's the Holly Jolly Wishes. So I'm going to use the Merry Christmas to You, and this is where the garden green comes in. So I was sitting here, I'm like, Elijah, you've gone to school now, but I'm going to, this card's going to be an ode to you, and I had trouble lining this one up because it's really dark. Let's see. Merry Christmas to You. Not bad. It's in garden green, guys. I used it. So there we go. The garden green set finally, stamp set finally got used. So all I did with my label, once I had got my card together, was stuck that to my card base with some Stampin' dimensionals. So I'm just going to add 3 here. and stick this to my card base. And then now I'm going to get a scrap bit of basic white, which I've got some here. I'm not sure if this will be quite enough, but we'll give it a go. So I'm going to get my stamps, and I'm going to stamp this one here and this one here. So I need this one and this one. And I'm going to need a couple of blocks. So I've got blocks all over my desk. And I'm going to stamp this in a couple of different greens. So my mission tomorrow is to clean my stamp box. Where do you get magnetic sleeves? They're just A4 magnetic sheets off eBay, and the actual pockets are totally Tiffany 5x7 stamp pockets, I think they're called. So I'm going to stamp this image here in some Pear Pizzazz, which is a colour I don't use very often. But I thought apparently I'm going for the greens that I don't use often. So a bit of Pear Pizzazz, and then I'm just going to clean this off. Which I even gave my chamois a bit of a clean earlier. And then I'm going to go for some mint macaron. And then it's clean. Love our chamois. And then this one, I think I'll have to get one more scrap. Let's see. This is totally a scrap, Kayla. I'm going to do some old olive. This is a colour I used to use all the time, and I don't use it much anymore. I think it seems darker to me now than it ever used to. I think it's because I use grey apple green now all the time. Let's say I use garden green all the time, but no, I definitely don't do that. Okay. Ugh. So that's our 3 images that we need. Now these cool dies come with dies that cut these out, so we don't even have to fussy cut. How cool is that? So I'm just going to use my trusty washi tape and line those up and bring back in Jude. People that watch this probably think, who on the earth is Jude? I name my crafting machines. So Jude and Gerard. It's totally normal, honestly. I spend so much time with them, why not name them? Okay, so there I've die cut out one, and then let's die cut out the one in Pear Pizzazz. See, I feel like Pear Pizzazz looks more like what I thought old olive. I need to spend more time with my greens apparently, because I felt like old olive looked more like what Pear Pizzazz is. But maybe I'm just going mad. Or maybe my ink pads just are really, really juicy and inky, I'm not sure. So I've die cut out those, so we don't need that die anymore. We just need to die cut out one of these little ones. So I will just take that one down and die cut out one of these. My grid paper's moving with my machine. Okay. I've got all of my stamps alphabetized, Angela, but my dies, I really need to alphabetize them because I can never find the die that matches a stamp set. Okay, so now I've got all these pieces cut in my different greens. I'm just going to get some liquid glue and add a tiny bit, and I'm just going to tuck them in because I've only added Stampin' dimensionals towards the centers, so it makes it easier to tuck these pieces in. And I'm just going to tuck my old olive one up here, and because I've used liquid glue I can move them around if I need to, so I'm just going to wiggle that around until I'm happy with it. Beautiful. And then down here I'm just going to grab some linen thread. Oh, thank you, Glenda. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely sleep. I'm just going to tie a bow with a little bow, so I'm trying not to go too big, with the linen thread. And then I'm just going to chop a tail, and then let's grab, I was going to just do it with liquid glue, but my glue dots are just here, so it makes more sense to do that. I'm going to tuck it, oh goodness, don't do that. I'm going to tuck a glue dot just there because I want to adhere my little bow just to the corner there. And then I'm going to take some more of my holiday jewels, and I'm going to take some in the green. So I think I used the red on the other project. I'm going to go and take some in the green. I think I've only got small greens left, but maybe for this card I could do a big red and make this card stand out because it's the only one with a red diamante on it. And do a little cluster of diamantes. And what's next? It is the Winter Stella. So I'm gonna put that all over the background. So that's the layout for those really simple note cards. And then I stamped with the same stamp we just die cut out in the corner, and took one of the stamps from the Holly Jolly Wishes. So I put the "'Tis the Season to be Jolly" and stamped that just in Memento Black on the envelope. And now to the back of this envelope I am going to add some DSP, and I'll show you how I do that. I don't know which pattern I don't have on my envelope. I think it's actually the it's this tartan one. Okay, so all I do to add some patterns to my envelope is apply a little bit of glue, particularly to the edges, and then I'm going to line up my edge of my envelope to my DSP, and then just cut around the flap. My envelope. And then I got this really fun envelope, a great way of also using the designer series paper. So I think with this one, yes, there's already an envelope to match this card here. So that one has a matching envelope, and they all have a beautiful matching envelope that's stamped, and they're all super fun and ready to go. And you can fit 5 of those fun note cards in the box that we made. So they're all ready to gift, and they can reuse the box. So it's a super fun gift packaging idea, a great way to use the designer series paper. And then we got to see another fun project using some of the paper as well behind the bauble, and lots of different fun projects with that Bright Baubles bundle. So I hope you liked seeing all of these projects and me really loving it, chopping it tonight, because I went to town with the paper. And to be honest, I think on my desk, from what was a full packet of paper, I don't have near as much, because this was 12 full sheets. So now I don't have near as much left. I don't know if I have 2 full sheets of anything left, because I did have a project in mind, but I need 2 full sheets of something. So I may have to do that with a different pack of pattern paper, because I have an idea to show you of something I saw, but I may actually have to show you with a different pack of paper. But it's another Love It, Chop It idea. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of these fun ways of using the design series paper. Don't forget that you can get this paper free at the moment. So it's free with a $90 order. So it's the Peaceful Prints 12x12 designer series paper. And it's free when you purchase $90 or more, as are all the Sale-a-Bration products until the 30th of September. So this is running out really soon. There's lots of gorgeous products. There's different papers you can choose from, as well as stamp sets, and there's even some dies. There's the sheet dies as well as the Summer Shadows dies, and a really beautiful huge dahlia set. This one's gorgeous. As well as there is a free stamp set available when you order $500 or more, host a party, and there's the amazing joining offer. So if you join at the moment and join my team, you can get a join for $169 and add $235 of product for the $169, and you can choose any of these free bundles in your kit on top of the $66 you're getting free in your kit. And you can choose whatever $235 of product you like, and you'll get a 20% discount on all your future orders and get to join my amazing team and continue getting the discount on your products. You don't have to do videos or run a business. You can just join the fun and our team of happy stampers. So that's always there. I'd love to have you join my team. I'm going to flip the camera and say goodbye. Okay, so I'm going to head off, I think, and go drink the rest of my coffee. I may have to make a new one. And thank you guys all for watching and supporting my little business page. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment. I'd love to hear where you're from, where you're watching from. And I'll put the replay up on YouTube as well. So I'd love to hear from you. And thanks as always for watching. It's 6 a.m. in Canada. Wow, thank you so much for tuning in, Carmen. You're up early. You're an early bird. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys soon. I plan on going live a few more times before the end of Sale-a-Bration, I hope. So I've got a lot to share with you, and so you'll probably see me a few more times because I want to get using these products before they're gone, because we don't have long left to use them. So you'll probably see me a few more times, and I can't wait to share what I've got to share with you. So thanks guys so much, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. Bye.